Welcome to the Hashana community-wide pre-Rosh Hashana evening of inspiration with our world-renowned speaker, Mr. Charlie Harary. Very excited to be here. This event has been dedicated in tribute to two pillars of our community, Mr. David Cordovani, David Ben Yehuda, and Mr. Efi Hamatian, Ephraim Ben Yehuda, Ruach Hashem Tenachana Began Eden. Two amazing people that our community was fortunate to have and are very greatly missed. Honestly, having such a great turnout tonight is a testament to the amount that they were loved. We'd like to thank their families for sponsoring tonight's evening. Jason and Adam Cordovani, thank you very much for your sponsorship. And to the Hamatian family, thank you very much for your sponsorship as well. We'll also be hearing closing remarks of a personal journey from Mrs. Carolyn Charkey, entitled Adversity Through Faith in Hashem. Thank you, Carolyn, for accepting our request to speak about your personal journey. We recognize it is deeply personal and it's a very sensitive topic, but as a community, we have all been inspired by your strength and bravery, finding light in your experiences. Our collective prayers are with you for continued health and happiness. Without further ado, it's a great honor and anticipation that we welcome a special and distinguished speaker to our community's free Rosh Hashanah Night of Inspiration, Mr. Charlie Harary. Charlie Harary is a renowned author, inspirational speaker, and source of wisdom in the world of personal development and Jewish thought. For his day job, Charlie is a senior director of capital markets at RXR Realty, but his true passion where he's gained real fame is as a motivational leader and speaker. Charlie gives speeches on topics of personal growth, business strategy, and productivity. He hosts a weekly podcast entitled The Charlie Harary Show, and has recently published his first book, Unlocking Greatness. It's with great honor that I introduce you to Mr. Charlie Harary.
It's such an honor to be here. I tell you, I have fond memories of this place. You invited me about 3 years ago to come to Selichot. I'm like, how late can it possibly go? You proved me beyond what I could dream of. I got here, and they started Selichot. It was like, I think 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, they're gonna fly. It's gonna be, I'll be home in like 45 minutes. 2:30, 3 o'clock, God bless. God bless you, God bless your community, God bless the calmness. What I saw here on Selichot night, the men, the women, packed. I never saw it anywhere else. Only other place I saw was in Panama. Remember the Panama before? The only place in the world I saw such kavod, such dedication. Really in a special community. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, and you should be proud of it. Because it is unique in the world. And God bless you. And I really, to this day, I'll never forget that. It was really awesome. Thank you. So we got a big day coming up. It's a big day. Rosh Hashanah is not a joke. It's called Yom HaDin, the Day of Judgment. The rabbis tell us it's the day where the books are open. But someone's parnassah, his livelihood is determined on that day. For the rest of the year, you're just making the money that was already sowed and given. The allocation takes place on Rosh Hashanah, and then it comes to you throughout the year. Health, happiness, it's a big day. Yom Kippur is a different day. It's a day of forgiveness, but the day of judgment is coming up. I remember when I started my career, I was in law, I was in big law. I'll never forget one day, anyone here worked in a big law firm, the way it works in big law firms, you have these partners that are like scary guys. You see a partner, they get nervous, and they talk to you, and they nose, they walk the halls. So I was a first-year associate, I was so nervous. I'll never forget this. One day, my secretary, I walk in, my secretary's white. Wow. She goes, you something? I'm like, I don't do anything. I got a couple eyes, kid. Like, I'm good now. I'm better. She goes, so-and-so wants to see you in his office immediately. So-and-so was wanting to see the partners in the whole firm. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm telling you, I'm clean. He called this morning and said, send him up immediately. I'm like, oh, great, I lost my job. I got it like 2 minutes ago. I go up to the office, I walk in, I'm like, sir, I didn't do it. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll be better. He said, wait, no, sit down. I'm like, why are you calling me at 8:30 in the morning? Come on. He goes, listen, are you a rabbi? I'm like, no. He goes, but you got the yarmulke. I'm like, yeah, I got the yarmulke. He goes, you know something about Judaism? I'm like, I know a few things about Judaism. He goes, okay. My brother-in-law is very Orthodox. And I went for a barbecue. And when I went for the barbecue, he went to pray in the afternoon. So he joined me with him, and we're praying. It's the afternoon. And the rabbi gets up to speak. And the rabbi says, it's coming time for Rosh Hashana, the Judgment Day. Your year's determined. This is the time. This is what you're standing in judgment in front of God. He goes, I haven't heard this my whole life. I didn't know. I thought you come in and say hello every once in a while. You come in, Judgment Day. Because I woke up the next morning, and I said, you know what? I have to do this in one of the top meetings in the city. Like Judgment Day. I do this all day long. I have people for trial. I'm going on trial. I'm going to dominate this trial. Like God's never going to see a better trial over there. So he goes, I went to my secretary and said, listen, find me whatever books they have that are the prayer books. I'm going to start preparing my closing arguments so that when I'm praying, when it gets to the time where you get to say what you're sorry for, I'm going to add stuff. I got this. Like I'll sweet talk God. I'm going to have the best year of my life. So my secretary goes down to 45th Street. There's a store there. She picks up a book, the Machzor for Rosh Hashana. She brings it back, Hebrew English. I open it up, and I'm looking for the confession part. I'm looking for the part where he said, sorry, I didn't mean it. And I had like a whole thing written up. I didn't know, I didn't know what taught me. And as I'm writing it, I'm looking. I can see the first part, God's great, got it. I'm like, there's no part of the confession. So I'm like, what do you mean? Because look at the book. It's judgment day. You're standing in front of God. It's your trial. No? There's no I'm sorry. Like nobody's thinking like, where do you put in I'm sorry? How about like I didn't mean it? Like, don't you do that during the judge? How else are you getting judged? Who screams the loudest? Is it color war? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm thinking, I gotta know these answers, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm like, that's a very good question. What do you do if you ask the rabbi a question doesn't answer? You know what we do? That's an excellent question. Actually, it's an interesting conversation amongst the philosophers. It's hard to give you the answer, so I'll get back to you in like a day or two when I ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's an excellent question. In fact, it's a subject of major common discussion. I have like 6 answers too, but I won't give it to you. Hold on. Went back, I'm like, call my rabbi, I'm like, what's the answer? It's like, it's a good question. I'm like, I got that part, I can do that part. Think about this for a second. We're going to walk in 2 nights. Shabbat is Rosh Hashana. Our year. Our families. Open the book. And it's wonderful. It's going to say Hashem did great. It's going to say a lot more review. It's going to say, reveal yourself to the world. There's no part of I'm sorry. There's no I didn't mean it. We do that Yom Kippur, but I don't say Yom Kippur's not Yom Adin. So how is God going to give you a judgment? What's he going to judge you on? Who's here first? Who screams the loudest? What's at the end of the day going to determine who gets what? I can't even defend myself. Right? How's that work? How are we going to prepare ourselves for the day coming? With me? Okay? I'll tell you a story. We have a powerful weapon that we don't know how to use. If we know how to use this weapon, it'll change our lives, and I believe, and I'm a nobody. I'm not a rabbi, I'm not holy, I'm a regular dude. So I can have an opinion, and it's not good. This is my opinion. Whatever it's worth. I think this is the tool, with God's help, that will determine our year. Stay with me. I'll tell you a story. It's not going to last. It's early for you, it's late for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I married an Hashana. So for me, I'm already in that. That's how it works. For you, you're just beginning the party. The party is only beginning right now. Today, you're like, get out of here, done dirty. For the white people, I'm saying relax. So let me realize that. Sit back and relax. I won't tell you a story. So we're already in the book, so it has to be true. The story takes place in the northwest of this country. Seattle, that area. Picture if you can. You're almost picturing like watching a movie. You see this beautiful area, full of trees and a park. And as the drone, you know, movies open up the drones, as the drone comes down, you see this beautiful like, state park. And the drone gets closer and closer and closer to the ground. And as it gets closer to the ground, you see that along the park, there's a beautiful path. And along the path is a bench. And as you get closer, you see something. You see a guy on the bench. Mid-40s, blonde hair, blue suit. Look at business guy. Looks like this. Nice brown shoes. And he's sitting on the bench, and his hands are on his knees. And it's weird. Because he's like moving. You don't know what he's moving for. And as it gets closer, you realize he's crying. He's not crying. he's like sobbing, like it's uncomfortable to see a grown man cry like that. And you see him, it's close to you, and he's crying and crying, and you don't know what's going on, and your heart breaks for him. In the corner of your eye, you see a man walking down the path, 70, white hair, velour jumpsuit. You picture it there? White shoes. Just came back from Florida. Walking down the path. He's having an early morning walk. Walking the path, doing his thing. And as he walks the path, he sees in the distance this young man losing it. And he stops and he goes, "Son, you okay?" He goes, "I'm fine." I'm like, "Son, you okay?" He goes, "I feel fine." He goes, "You don't look fine." He goes, "Old man, listen, I love you. You look like a nice guy. Trust me. I'm fine." He goes, "Listen, son, you're not fine." He goes, "I'm telling you, you can't help me. So it doesn't matter." He goes, "I can listen to you." He goes, "You want to hear my story?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to hear your story." He goes, "Sit down. Get comfortable." The old man sits down. The young man goes, "About 5 miles from here is a town. My grandparents came to this country and ended up on Ellis Island in New York. It didn't work out for them. And somehow they ended up on a bus to Chicago. And that didn't work out for them. And somehow they ended up on a train. And they landed in the town 5 miles from here. They didn't speak a word of English, or my grandmother spoke broken English. They didn't have a penny. They landed in a tiny little town with nothing. And right away they had a few bucks that the welfare agency gave them. They gave it to a man to live in a small little place. And they get there for the first day and they don't know what to do with themselves. So my grandfather, back in the country he came from, was a handyman. So he told his wife, "I'm going to go down and find a lumber yard. And with a few pennies I have left, I'll buy something to make even a bed, a table, something." I had a bill. So he goes back and he buys some wood and he comes in and he's banging the bed together, and in 10 minutes my grandmother comes in and she goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm making a bed." He goes, "Make two." He goes, "We don't need two." She goes, "Make two." She goes, "Why?" She goes, "I just sold the bed on the street corner." She's like, "What?" "Oh, yeah, I met some people." He goes, "You don't know. You just got here 10 minutes ago." "You met someone?" She goes, "Yeah, I was talking to somebody." And I said, "Hey, we're in the hardware business." He goes, "We're in the hardware business?" He goes, "Yeah. We are, yeah. Make your beds." By the way, half people in this room, that's how your parents or grandparents thought, am I right? Isn't that how this whole community built? And a bunch of people just being ambitious? That's what it is. Maybe. And my grandmother said, she didn't talk to anybody. She spent woke up in the morning, she walked the streets, she came home in the afternoon, and needed a desk, and needed a bed, and needed a bookshelf. And my grandfather was the best guy in the world. He had a desk up there, charming. He went to one period and she started building, and guess what? After a couple of days, he was selling stuff. And then, after they made a few bucks, they went down to the corner and they rented the store on the block. And my grandmother stood outside, and people started coming in, and before you know it, that store went from a few customers to more customers. And before you know it, that became the most popular store in town. It was a sleepy American town. These two immigrants with personality livened the place up. And one little store became 2 stores, became 3 stores. Before you know it, the center of the town was my grandparents' furniture store. And they're good people, my grandparents. They did charity. They didn't put the money in their pockets only. So guess what? The school got better. And the community got better. And people got jobs. And they came back afterwards. Because they felt good about it. And when the mayor needed something, he gave to my grandfather and he gave him a check. And when the community needed something, he gave to my grandparents and they gave him a check. And the store went from a block to a block. And before you know it, that block was my grandparents' furniture store. My grandfather turned 60 years old. On his 60th birthday, he walked into my father's office. My father did not go to camp. My father did not have a hobby. My father, when he was 7 years old, he was in the accounting department. When he was 9 years old, he was on the warehouse floor. When he was 14 years old, he was in the accounting room and in the sales room. My father lived, breathed, owned that store. 60 years old, my grandfather walked in and said, "Son, I want to retire. I want to hang out with your mom. I want to see the grandkids. I've been working every single day of my life. You want to take over the business?" My father said, "You better believe I am." Father took the keys to the business, gave my grandfather a kiss, and blew the business up. We went from regional to national. The school doubled. They put in a football field. They started building the children's hospital. The community got better. They had a parade, holiday week, and my father was the guy on the float. And that town started to be employed and benefited from my father and that company. Guess what? I didn't go to camp. I didn't go to school. I didn't have hobbies. You know what I did when I was 8 years old? The factory floor. You know what I did when I was 13 years old? The accounting department. I was making sales calls before I was able to do anything else. My life was in that company. At 16 years old, my father on his 60th birthday, after we made our birthday party, walked right into my office and said, "Son, this age, my father retired. Take the company?" And I said, "The greatest pride of my life. You better believe I know that." This is around 2006, 2007. Those who know what happened in 2008, you can see it coming. I said to myself that first day, I said, I'm going to make my parents proud. My grandfather was regional. He was young. He came in, he was an immigrant. My father was national. We're going international. And I started going to China, I started importing. And I started making connections across the country and across Europe. And I started selling and creating homes and model homes and sets. I started doing online work. I started building 3D printing. I started building new factories, opening up new offices around the country. It was great. 06. Do you ever remember 06? People were drunk with money. Everyone was handing out cash. Because things were amazing. And all of a sudden, people stopped taking orders. The factories stopped delivering on time. All the companies that we had all our accounts, and we were holding back. And it just felt like nowhere. I went from having a cash flow X and down, started making payroll. I had debt that I had to put, I had loans that I can't pay back. I'm in the middle of construction, and my construction loans are defaulted. And every single day felt like another day of whack-a-mole. This didn't work, that didn't work, this didn't work, that didn't work. And before you know it, the company that my grandfather built and my father expanded started to hemorrhage everywhere I saw. And yesterday, I had lawyers in my office to figure this out with me. The banks, the debt, the payroll, maybe an investor. Last night, I got a voice note from my lawyers. He pulls out his phone and plays the name. And says, "Sir, you've done everything in our power. There's only one option. Bankruptcy." It says, bankruptcy. Because my grandfather built a business with his hands. And his grandson will run it into the ground. Do you understand? This town is built off the store. You know how many jobs? You know my family's name is platinum. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drag it into the mud. You know why? Because I'm a moron. And because I'm greedy. And because I'm dumb. Because I thought I could do something when I can't. I thought it was my grandfather, but I'm not. I thought it was my dad, but I'm not a quarter of my dad. And I'm going to destroy my family. And he started to break down. And the old man looks at him and says, "Who are your bakers?" He goes, "What? What'd you say? Your bakers. Which banks did you use?" He goes, "Why does that matter? Are you paying attention to me?" He goes, "Which China factories? You said you imported from China. Which factories did you contract? How did you work in terms of did they sell on commission?" He goes, what does that mean? Because when you build a building, did you use a developer or did you outsource? Like, how did you work on the construction? He goes, "Are you even like, are we having the same company? You family bankruptcy?" Like, see, the old man goes, "I'm sorry. I should introduce myself. I don't live around here. I live on vacation here. My name is Warren Buffett." Everybody know who Warren Buffett is? Everybody know Warren? She's a very wealthy guy. A couple of dollars. Because I should have told you who I am. See, you know what I do for a living? It's called value investing. I look at companies and I determine how good they are. Not you. And you know I've been doing this my whole entire life. You know how much money I make? A lot of money. You know what I do? I look at companies, and then when it goes to bad company, and I determine if they're good or bad. I determine if they're valuable. Let me tell you something, son. You're not a moron. And you're not dumb. We don't have a CEO problem here. You know what we have? It's called a liquidity problem. You're down on cash. When you're young, you marry, you buy a house, you're down on cash. When you expand your life, you spend for it. You're expanding a business. That's what you're supposed to do. You should have down on cash. You don't have any problems. And he goes, thank you, sir. No, Mr. Buffett, it's an honor to meet you. No, really, I can't believe I'm not meeting you in the flesh. It is just something beyond me. I just, so special, but like, thank you so much, but like, really. I was, oh, you don't believe me? Oh, okay. You don't believe me. Great. And he reaches into his pocket and he goes, Mr. Buffett, please. What's on? Pulls out his pocket a check. And he says, I'm going to give you $1 million right now. Because I believe that A, I'm going to get a piece of the company, and 1 year from today, you will be on this park bench with my money and a 20% return to the end of the deal. He goes, you're giving me $1 million. Just hearing my story. Because you don't think I believe in you? Huh. Here's $1 million. Because you're investing in my company. He's like, Warren Buffett just invested in my company. He's like, can you take the check? He goes, okay, you got it, sir. Yeah, I'll take that check, no problem. And he gets up, he goes, oh man, gets up. Off he goes. And the young man goes, oh my gosh. Like, did that happen? Like, Warren Buffett? And he goes back to him, he goes, man, I'm not like, no, you didn't. Like, I did. Like, yeah, sure. So it's hard, no stress, special bankruptcy. Like, they know, like, they did. Here's the check. Like, that's what I'm doing. I got it, close it. Goes, thanks for the check. I got the check. He's like, no way. Thanks for the, oh my God. So he's saying, this check is like having a Michael Jordan signature like card. This is the best thing in the world. He's calling his friends, calling his bankers, he's FaceTiming, he's putting it on Instagram, everywhere he's looking, he's like, what? I turned around from college, told him, hey, what are you doing? Check that arm off, like, no, you're like, oh my God. He's walking the halls, the factory, this, that, everyone's talking, like, you didn't hear, like, I bet him, how do you know? Well, check the check. I can't believe you know, Warren Buffett. And he's walking around, and he goes, wait, check, I got a check, I need the money to pay her. Goes to the bank, tell her, like, gives the teller the check, and now she takes it, he's like, can't let it go. She's like, I need it. He's like, what do you open in the morning? She's like, I don't know, 9. He goes, I'll be back at 9 o'clock. He's like, for real? Yeah. Goes home, shows his wife, shows his kids. Goes to bed, check right next to him. Wakes up the next morning, drives himself to the bank, because he just couldn't go to the bank. Because maybe somebody needs that day. And what if he needs that and tells him that Warren Buffett, and then I believe he's had the check next to him. He's like, you know what? I lasted until this long. I could last one more day with the check. He drives to the office because the check out of his desk, and he steals it, and he just can't believe it, Warren Buffett. And he gave him $1 million. And as he's sitting around, just staring at the check, staring off into space, he gets this crazy idea. He says, I'm not cashing that check. I'm going to turn this business around, and I'm going to get you back to the original check. How many people never cashed Warren's check? And then I'm going to ask him for $20 million. He must have been Jewish, that's for sure. And as soon as that idea came into his head, he just leapt. He jumped up. He started walking in the factory. He goes, what's everybody standing around here for? He's like, well, sir, it's hard. He goes, look at that. Look at this inventory. Why don't we sell the inventory? Like, well, it's hard. All that stuff. Come on. You guys can do this. How about this? The one who sells the biggest inventory, I'm going to send it to Cancun for free. They're like, really? Like, yeah. You got it, sir. Let's sell. Goes, puts on a board, puts everyone's name on the board. He goes, okay, I want to see which guy is able to sell the most inventory. Let's clean these shelves. And the guy's like, you got it, sir. They're just bustling around. He comes around and says, oh, walks over to the design department. Walks around the phone. Like, why are you on your phones for? Like, oh, sir, it's hard. No sales. There's no sales. We're back in business. And we're making great sales. And guess what? You don't think the economy will turn around? Guess who's going to be first when the economy turns around? Us. I want to see 10 great designs on my desk and delivery. We good? They're like, we're good. He walks out there, bustling, like, this feels good. I know this a long time. He's at his desk. He's like, this is a different person. Picks the phone to his bank and he goes, hey, you're foreclosing on me? You want to enter the furniture business? You want to be a bank? I want to be furniture business. How about this? Let's figure this out. Come over, we'll figure out a way, we'll create a plan, we'll be able to ultimately pay you back. And the banker's like, we'll pay you back, sir. fly to New York. They're like, great, see you on Tuesday? They're like, see you on Tuesday. And someone's like, all right, pitch the phone. You haven't worked for me a long time. Well, sir, calm down. Down forever. You want to be a company that doesn't hire people when the company comes up? You have old furniture when you come back? Well, I hear you. How about this? I'll send you stuff on commission. You like it, you'll pay me. You don't like it, you don't pay me. At least you'll do something in the office. You got it. I'll order $1 million. Like, you got it. And someone's like, oh, you're my baby. And that day, something just took this guy over. Making phone calls, waking up early, at night, jotting ideas into his bed, into his pad. And next thing you know, the company is bustling. The factory is cleaning inventory. The design team is bringing in new design. The sales team, the phones are ringing. They're bringing in bankers, he's bringing in investors. And before you know, one day turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 11 months. 11 months a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's 11 months and 29 days. And this guy is sitting at his desk and he cannot believe what 1 year ago. He just can't believe it. A year ago, he got the phone call. Bankruptcy. And then he met Warren Buffett. And a year later, his company is more secure, better positioned, better liquid, and they're poised to now take on what is now beginning to be what looks like the next rebound off the recession. And you just can't believe his fortune. And he sits back and he smiles to himself. Takes a deep breath. It's been a long year, a great year. And tomorrow morning is the day. He's going to ask Warren for $20 million and build the next level facility to take his company to the next level. And he takes out his checkbook and he writes a check for 20% of the $1 million. And he takes out the Warren Buffett check, which is like now behind the glass. He takes out the check. And he puts it in his pocket. Drives home, dinner with his family, goes to bed. He doesn't sleep awake. 4 o'clock he's up. 4:30 he's right on the way. 5 o'clock he's at the bench. 5:01 he's dot. Gray hair. Velour jumpsuit to my left. And as he sees him take that pad, he can't even contain his excitement. He jumps up. Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Mr. Buffett! Do I know you, son? That's me. He goes, it's me. And who are you? Me. Yeah, me. Who are you? Don't you remember? You were here a year ago. He goes, oh yeah, I think so. We're talking about furniture. He goes, the furniture store, right? Remember? Like your grandfather was in business. That's right. He goes, that's right. A year ago, I gave you money. He goes, yes, you gave me $1 million. He's like, oh my gosh, how did it go? He goes, how did it go? You should say this. I want to give you something, Mr. Buffett. I want to give you something you may have never gotten before. He puts his hand into his pocket. He pulls out the original check. He hands it to him. As he hands it to him, 2 young men wearing white shirts and pants come running up to him and say, sir, is this old man bothering you? And he goes, excuse me, I don't know who you are, but this old man happens to be Warren Buffett. And they said, what? What? That's right. He goes, oh, sir, right behind those trees is a nursing home. What we do to keep the minds of our nursing home residents active is what's called method acting. Each of our residents gets to pick a character. And then, over the course of the year, they live. Wait a second. Wait. Bob, you didn't bring Warren outside of the home, did you? Wait. Did he tell you? He's like, wait. Did he give you any checks? Because the last thing he gave a check to was put in jail for bank fraud for cashing. You didn't cash any checks. He's like, no, I didn't cash any checks. He's like, whew, thank God for that. Bob, what do you say? Bob says, I always wanted to be wealthy. Good luck. And off he goes. You're thinking, what in the world is he saying? Let me tell you why the story has changed my life. Stay with me a few minutes. You got this. But you gotta get this. What in the world happened to that guy? Do you think for 1 second that before he met fake Warren Buffett, he didn't wake up every single morning trying to turn that business around? Do you think when he got up the day before Warren Buffett, he was like, whatever, we had a business, we don't have a business, it's cool, I got a trust fund. You think he did that? Do you think when the market turned, he wasn't trying to restructure the loan? Do you think he wasn't trying to sell the inventory? He wasn't trying to make sales? Do you think before he met fake Warren Buffett, he didn't wake up every morning, go to bed every night, and think every second of his day on building? What happened? He got no money. He got no advice. He got no contacts. He got nothing from that exchange. But somehow, that exchange changed the guy's life. How? What happened to him that before Warren Buffett, he did everything in his power and failed? And after he met Bob, who he thought was Warren Buffett, he became successful. What happened? I'm telling you what happened. All of us are born with something that we don't even appreciate. Many of us grow up in a world, and when you ask people, where is God? You know what they say? Up. I don't know when we put God up, but somewhere in history, somebody took God and put him up. And now, when someone goes, where is God? They go, he's in, I don't know, heaven somewhere. I don't know, after the galaxy's heaven. He's there. He can hear me. He can see me. He gives me gold points sometimes. I got to do this and that thing. And everyone has like a navigation of God. Like, I'm good, I'm not good. I do this, I don't do this, whatever it is. God's here, I'm here. That's where everybody thinks God is. Let me tell you something. God's not up. Judaism does not think God is up. We don't get that from us. You know where we think God is?
Everywhere.
Excellent. He is in. God is the intelligent energy that is in everything. God's not up. Yeah, he's up. But he's up like he's everywhere. That means if me and you are looking in this world, everything in this world, the thing within the thing, that energy source, the intelligent energy of that is godliness. It's not God himself. It is the rays. It is the spark. It is the energy that is called divine. That means the reason why our eyes are open is because what is powering you right this second, the power that you have right now is godliness. And I tell people all the time, they go to me, I'm this religious, I'm that religious, I'm from this denomination, that much. Stop. All this stuff is America. Stop. If your eyes are open, you have more spirituality built into your system than you will ever need for the rest of your life. Nobody has to become spiritual. You have a piece of God inside you. That's more spirituality than this world can contain. You never have to become spiritual. You have to reveal spiritual. Along the way, our brains start to get hooked on the addictions of this world, and we forget who we are. And we have those, all of us have those moments of spiritual spark where something feels different. You know that feeling? Where it's like not the same. It's a piece of that soul just showing itself. If you're sitting in this room and your eyes are open, you have more spirituality than you'll ever need. You've got God inside you. You've got God everywhere too. You've got a ray of the divine that's empowering you. And you know who knows this more than anything in the world? Who is the most powerful species in the world? Right now, the most powerful species in the world is 3-year-olds. Am I right? Have you ever messed with a 3-year-old before? You know what happens when you mess with a 3-year-old? Ever do this before? Try it. 3-year-old goes, I want a cookie. You go, here's a cookie. And what does 3-year-old do? I have a hand, you know. And you go, one per customer. And the 3-year-old says, I will stand here for the rest of my life. What do? Sophisticated adult. What do? 2 seconds. Here you go. No problem. No? You ever watch mom and 3-year-old go shopping in the supermarket? Is there anything more fun than watching a mother alone with a 3-year-old in that supermarket? She is dead meat and she doesn't even know it. As she walks in, you're like, good luck. You're now in public with him. He owns you. Am I wrong? She's walking for flowers. She makes a wrong turn on a cookie on it, right? And he's like out of space, and all of a sudden he comes to. And he sees more cooking he's ever seen his whole life. He goes, Mommy, I dreamed of this place. Let's buy it all. And you know what she does? She negotiates. Son, you were a good boy in the car and I gave you a snack. Maybe you'll be a good boy. I'll give you a snack and get back in the car again. And he looks at her and goes, really? That's what you got? You want to do this thing in public? You got it. Ah! 2 seconds. Here we go, right? He turns to his brother like 18 seconds. I own her. No? 3-year-olds? For us, you know what the greatest gift God gives us every day? What's the greatest gift you give to God every day? When you get up an hour before you have. You ever had that? You wake up like, oh my God. I have another hour. I get to be unconscious for more. When you get up in the morning and leave, it's like you break up your pillow. You're not feeling like goodbye pillow. I miss you so much. No, I don't know how to survive without you. You know, I had plans this weekend. I'm going to cancel. Just go back to my pillow. You know, I feel like you get that nostalgia for being in bed to a 3-year-old bed at the end of it. His eyes open up at 3:30. He's like, okay, let's rock and roll. Am I wrong? 3-year-olds, and by the way, 3-year-olds in bed mood, everyone's killing each other. You got a 100-year-old that's upset. 3-year-olds in bed mood. Everyone's upset. You falls on the couch like, okay, let's do this all again. I'm sorry, Grandma yelled at you. Let's start this from again. You know why that is? Because what do 3-year-olds have? They have all soul. Their brain didn't start yet. What happens in our minds is what's called a schema. It's a filter. How we see the world. There's no filter. That's why they say anything. Which is why then old people are the fun of the best people to be around. They say whatever they want. They play with whatever they want. They laugh and cry. They forget to hold grudges. They don't remember the man yesterday because it's a new day. They play with anybody. They don't have a filter. They don't have a brain. They're not their brains is sophisticated. You know they have a soul. You know what that means? They think they can do anything. Because your soul is beyond your physical body. And your soul can do beyond what you think. The thing that's inside you that's powering you is bigger and stronger than what your brain will allow yourself to believe about it. And you know who knows that? 3-year-olds. They can't articulate it. They can't say it, but they live it. So they wake up in the morning, they're like, let's rock. They're not like, oh my God, I'm going to die, I don't get 8 hours of sleep. They fight with someone, they're like, let's have more fun. When you watch a little kid on a walk, they're like a clown show. If it was us, as adults, we try twice to crawl into a car. No? Then fall, and then I'm upset. They don't register it. Oh my God, I'm not good enough. When did my friend on a walk? 18 months, 19 months time. I'm already down. I gotta be for walking. This is my friend. You know, all my friends on a walk, and I can't. I gotta get up for walking. Maybe I should get close to that. I can't. They don't have that yet. They just have, I got something. I have power. And guess what happens to our 3-year-olds? Watch this. You have a nuclear reactor called soul. Your mind is clear, clean. And that little one goes to school. And he says a joke. And everyone goes, that's not funny. And he goes, my parents always laugh. Maybe not so funny. And the little girl goes to school. And she lays down and says, that's not funny. She goes, my princess is my daddy. My princess anymore. Oh, let me tell you how it works. Here's how it's like. You see that? That's called screens. If you're on the screen, that means you're pretty. And if you dress like you're on the screen, it means you're pretty. And if you don't, for whatever reason, it means you're not. And the girl goes, oh. Or the guy goes, oh. I'm going to school. And then he gets picked last. Or fifth. Or third. Because in the house, Daddy picks him first. And then he goes to class. But it's okay. I'm not knocking society. This is just life. And the little brain goes, maybe not so funny. Maybe not so brave. Maybe not so cool. And then you get your grade back, and it's a C or a B. And it says, see you later. So when you were little, when you said Cheetos, that's a B. It's only half the word. But Mommy loved it. Cheetos! The pictures of the grandma, everybody clapped, Cheetos! You sang the song in the car, all wrong, but it was cute enough. Everyone was like, yay! That same Cheetos is a D. See me after class. Everyone's so smart. And that little thing, that little 3-year-old, who can take on the world. we stand before God? How many people in this room, honestly, let's be straight, are we stand before God, Hashana, go, you look at me, not enough. That's for sure. How many people can walk in this room and go, for real, the rabbi's enough. I'm not enough. I'm a good Jew? Come on. How many people every day say, but I can't? How many times do you see someone go, you should, and you go, but I can't? Why don't you do that? That's not me. I never did that. I can't do that. That's not what I do. How many times a day do we hear or say some version of none? We have a soul. That means we can do things we can't even dream of. That means the power we have inside us is beyond what our mind can tell us. Why can't we think we can't? You know why? Because our brain says, remember? And so when you look in the mirror, if you're a regular person, if you're a normal functioning person, you look in the mirror, you know what you see? You see a fraction of who you are. Period. End of story. What happened to our business friend? Warren Buffett gave him no money, gave him no advice, gave him no confidence. So what did he give him? He gave him the one thing that nobody gave him. You know what he gave him? He saw him. You don't have a CEO problem. You have a liquidity problem. You're an awesome CEO. You're not dumb. You're not a moron. You're not greedy. You're ambitious. You're a CEO. He saw him. And when you see somebody for who they could be, you unlock potential inside them. And to you it's obvious because you see it, but they don't. Because you don't live in their life. You don't have their history. You don't appreciate that. They're waiting for someone to say, stop. I see you. You have no idea who you are. Do you know how many kids are sitting in homes right now and their parents don't see them because they don't look like their siblings? Because mom and dad has a picture of what a kid should be, and the kid's not following up at the exact timeline that they expected, that they forgot what they were like when they were growing up. You know how many kids are sitting in the classroom this week? In the classroom, and the teacher doesn't see them because their strengths don't match up to the curriculum of that particular school. All good. I'm not knocking schools. Just reality. The most powerful gift and tool you have is your eyes. Because every single day, you see people. But the question is, what are you seeing in them? Are you seeing in them all that they are in competition to you? Are you seeing them for their externals, for their history? Or do you walk around and see them for who they could be, for their potential? Everybody had that, everyone had like that one teacher or one parent or grandparent, you know what I'm talking about? That saw you. They may not be the most charismatic, but you remember as a kid growing up, that person gave you the greatest gift in the world. And every one of us walk around every single day, with opportunities to open up the lives, the hearts, and the powers of everybody around us. We don't gotta be charismatic, we don't gotta be brilliant, we don't have to be wise, we just have to be willing to see. I see my brother, and my parents, and my children, and my colleagues. The most powerful tool that we do not use to blow people up. Not money, not advice, not contacts. Those are all important. But the one thing that changes guy's life, the one thing that every one of us needs on every single day, is someone to see us, see who we are, what we could be. Because when you see somebody tap into their depth, you change their life. I'll never forget. Anyone else keep running about? Just give me like 5 minutes, okay? Anyone else keep running? I'll never forget to tell you a personal story. We're all friends. This is like that 1 o'clock in the morning, we're all friends. You sleep with somebody, your friends are. After you say, Chadam Levanecha, it's good for them, that's it. He's saying Chadam Levanecha. was a kid growing up, I was always in trouble. Always. Ask my mom. Always. It got so bad, and one time, I'll never forget, I went to the principal's office, high school, and the principal had 3 buttons on his phone. His wife, his mom, my mom. My mom's a little, God bless her, insane, for good. She had a routine every time he called. He didn't do it, he didn't mean it. His grandparents are Holocaust survivors. You know? He's going to become the president one day. And this is Harary, he was going to school now. You get insurance proceeds. You got it? God bless. Jewish members. One time I ran for vice president of the school. And won. He sees me in the hallway. By the way, I wasn't a bad kid. I just didn't go to class. I can't stand. Imagine saying, I can't stand. I'm okay. Can you imagine me as a kid? It was a disaster. It was a total disaster. But I played ball. I was fine. I wasn't a bad kid. Class and me never got together. Which is a problem when you're in class for most of you. Anyone have kids like that? Anyone like that? I ran for vice president and won. He sees me in the hallway. He says, Charlie, something positive? I'm shocked. Come, let's call your mother. It's okay. Goes to his office. Speed dial. This is Harary. I'm here talking about Charlie. She didn't do it. He didn't mean it. It's grandparents are Holocaust survivors. I go, he goes, no, Mrs. Harary, I'm calling to give you good news. Silence. Who is this? You got a picture? My high school valued what's called senior seminar. Seminar was like the big deal. It was like all the seniors and the freshmen, by the way. It's a big deal. Now, I wasn't a bad kid. I couldn't sit, but I played ball, and I played hockey, whatever. I did other stuff. I thought for sure I'd be a seminar. Like, I don't think I'd be good to be math tutors, but seminar? Like, the barrier was pretty low. I remember the day like it was yesterday. Walking to school, look at the board. Okay, maybe it's a hard to cute. I don't know. Not on the list. Wait, no way. I know what it's going to be. I'm not that guy. I know the kids don't care about the seminar. I'm not that guy. Guess I'm that guy. Tough guy. I was broken in half. They were like, don't tell me what no stupid seminar. It was seminar. Call me my other home. Broken. Come around and say, you know what? Maybe I'm a bad kid. Such an idiot. Like here, I'm being a good kid, the guy that I can't sit in class, but I'm a good guy. Maybe I'm a dumb one. Maybe I'm a bad kid. I'm a bad kid. They don't want me around freshmen. I can't believe all these years I felt like I was a good guy. I feel so dumb. I'm a bad kid. I started to realize that. Like, I was faking myself. I had a teacher in 9th grade who was Harary. His father was the principal of the school. 9 o'clock at night, the phone rings. Back in the days where there was one phone now. Remember those days? One phone attached to the wall, remember that? Remember the well? Remember the word for the well, remember that? We didn't have shoes. Remember those days? 9 o'clock, phone rings. My mom goes, remember Alex and Alvin? I'm like, Harary, I wasn't even in school. It was on Harary. I didn't do it. It's not my fault. My grandparents are Holocaust survivors. Mom was becoming president of this. It was not like that. It's me, so tough. So tough. I'm 12th grade. He was my 9th grade Zionism teacher. Got it? There was a pass by. I'm so bored. You know what's going on? Dumb. You're a good kid. You missed it. You're a really good kid. Click. 12 seconds. Change the course of my life. 12 seconds. I see you. It took me out of my day to see you. It changed the decisions of the next year of my life. Friends, moves, everything. We have the power to change the lives of everybody around us. If we can stop focusing on ourselves and focus on what we have to say, what we have to see in our kids, in our friends, in our family. You don't think the people that had to run the community need it? You, with your eyes, over the course of your life, can be the most influential person to everybody around you. Rosh Hashana comes. We stand before God. Remember what we never do? We never see Him. We are so busy running from Hashana. We're so busy being worried that I'm going to do the right thing or the wrong thing. We have all of us our own little baggage about God. We never for a second stop and wait. Am I still thinking of God like a Jewish Santa Claus? Like, am I still in that way of big bad? Are you good, not good? I'll give you gifts if you're good, and if you're naughty, you don't get gifts. Are we still in that space? Have I ever seen that everything in this world that is deep spirituality, that God has given me a life. He's given me my breath. He's given me my family. He's created a world that I can thrive. He's connected me to a community that goes back generations. The depth in this world comes from God. The joy that we have that's deep, where does it come from? It comes from the spiritual world. I've been given a gift of being able to tap in to a people that step back further than any other people in the world. My great-grandparents were prophets. We don't see that anymore. We don't see the beauty in the words anymore. We don't see the beauty in the customs. What is it? We don't look deeper into anything. It's like, can I get out? We don't allow our hearts to be connected to this level of sight. So we stand here, go through the motions, hope we get a good judgment call. God goes, this is good news. Stop confessing. You know what? You know what confessing is? Confessing is about what you did wrong. We got to spend 2 days and not think about you. If you wake up in the morning and all you see in the mirror is you, I did this, I'm sorry, I didn't do this, I'm sorry, can I get, good book, bad book, then you miss the whole point. Judaism is not a religion. It's a relationship. I need you to see me. Can you imagine the creator of the universe is saying, I love you and I need you to look at me. To a human being. That's Judaism. Look at me. Find me in your day. Find me in your life. Find me inside you. Change how you see the invisible man in the sky. The energy everywhere that's constantly trying to create a relationship with you. Deep in. Rosh Hashana is about the eyes to see beyond. To stand before him for 2 days, not think about me at all. Look into the words if you can, Hebrew or English. Spend 10 minutes during the Amidah to see what it's about. It's about you. God, I need you to be bigger and stronger. Come into the world more. Reveal yourself. Show me. Show the world what life could look like. We're lost in the world of getting and doing and competition and stuff. Let's get to a place where it's deeper than that. And when a person stands before God and goes, I've been thinking about you all year long. I got 2 days about you. I'm going to spend 2 days trying to find you. And if I can see you in 2 days, spend time thinking. Pray slowly. Introspect. You're not going to pray, introspect. Pray that you can see him when, if I do that for 2 days, God goes, you worrying about me? Wait. It's me. Wow. It's a relationship? You want a relationship with me? You want a relationship with your whole life? I'm waiting for your whole life. It's not like a court with a guy. It's a court with your dad. It's a court with your grandfather. It's like if you two little bits of homework and call it a day. Number one. This is a famous rabbi named Morgenstern. Wrote a book called Beyond the Kecha, one of the most powerful books I've ever read. You know what he says in the book? Was you go through life, you go with pleasures, with food, delicious. You can sit down and eat and enjoy. Go outside the weather, wear something nice, nice, if you're doing your work something nice. Because when you have pleasure in life, if you want to connect with the spiritual world to God, connect with pleasure to Him. One time a day say, the food's delicious, God is giving me the enjoyment now. He's handing me enjoyment because He loves me. Connect to the depth of the food. It's deeper than just the ingredients, the spirituality there. And number two, and this maybe is the most important one, sometime on the day of Rosh Hashanah, or if you can do this regularly, it'll change your life. I am telling you, it'll change your life. Whenever you pick anything, to pray in English, to pray at a siddur, to do any time you connect, spend a few minutes doing it slowly. You can wake up in the morning every day for 5 minutes and talk to God in English, slowly. Now, right in. If you get to shul and you can open up the siddur for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, take 3 words and say those 3 words slowly. Try to see the depth of the meaning of the words. We gotta become people with spiritual eyes. And let me tell you what happens at the end of the day. You know what happens when you start looking at Him and everybody? You wake up one morning and you look in the mirror. And you go, maybe I'm more than I thought. You start training your eyes to see greatness, and guess who gets it the most? The person you see the most. And you start realizing your power. Because you can see it in everybody else. And you can see it in God. And you're connecting to depth on a constant basis. That's Rosh, my opinion, Rosh Hashanah. Not scary, not anxious, not a trial for a litigator. A relationship between a parent and a kid. Seeing people. And ultimately seeing the true essence of ourselves. My bracha to this awesome community, whose history is so rich, whose heritage is so strong. You should see the depths of this. Don't take this for granted. This is awesome. But get to the core of it. Understand it at the depths so you can pass it on to the next generation. And they can be stronger than you are. So that the fire can burn and glow and light up the world. That's our job. We oil Elohim. Light up the world, to see spirituality. And each of us start to use our eyes to help others, see in others, and to see it in God, to see it in ourselves. And we'll become the people that we could never even dream of. Because all of us have potential inside us waiting to be unlocked. And as soon as we do, our life feels different. And that we share this hood. Let's do this together, not only here in Great Neck, but ultimately in Yerushalayim HaKodesh, Hashem Tzidkenu, Harary.
We have closing remarks by Harary. We're excited to hear her. Please come and tell us about your personal journey in overcoming adversity through faith and Hashana.
Given the opportunity to be a part of this remarkable event tonight. What an amazing turnout. This time of year is an emotional one for me. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with an aggressive form of metastatic breast cancer, only a few days before Rosh Hashanah, just as we are now precisely. The way things panned out for me, in the exact moments that they did, has brought me to believe that there is someone up there guarding and protecting me as I was given another chance at life. I was 23 years old when I lost my father to a rare and aggressive brain cancer in 2012. My mom was all I had, and she was very much in the center of my life. In 2018, she was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. At this time, between my siblings and I, we spent mostly every day with her between taking her grocery shopping, accompanying her to her doctor visits, chemo sessions, scans, and helping her with the pharmacy runs. She fought hard for 3 long years, and my brother, sister, and I were all she had. A few weeks prior to my mother's passing in August 2021, I began to experience a rare symptom that I didn't think much of at the time. However, I made an appointment to see my OB just to be on the safe side. Throughout the exam, there was no cause for concern besides for this uncommon symptom that needed to be addressed via ultrasound at a radiology center. The first available appointment at the radiology center turned out to be on a mind-blowingly significant day. Little did I know at the time that this appointment would turn out to be on the final day of my mother's house. My mom was alive when this appointment was made. Until then, I carried on with life as I normally would, not thinking much of it. Between the role of being a caretaker for my mom at the time and being a mother of 4, I didn't have the time to dwell much on myself. At that point in time, my husband and I had a short weekend trip planned with a few other couples, which my mother encouraged us to go on, as she always wanted us to be happy and in good spirits. I'm eternally grateful to Hashana that I got to make a stop at her apartment on the day of my flight. I went to drop off some food for her and see how she was doing before I left for the weekend. Little did I know that was the last time I ever got to see my mom again. My husband and I got on our flight that afternoon, and my sister took my mom to her oncologist for a routine checkup later that day. Unfortunately, my mom didn't make it through the night. Once the news got to us, my husband and I flew back immediately. I didn't get to see what my brother and sister saw. Hashem seemed to have orchestrated these sequence of events to keep me far from the visual and mental trauma. I was incoherent, and I felt numb, blindsided, and shattered inside. The entire Shiva week was a giant blur. I had my appointment at the radiology center on the final day of her half. Coincidentally, my appointment was for 1 o'clock in the afternoon that day, which worked out because my siblings and I planned to go to the cemetery that morning. I never once rescheduled this appointment. I went straight to the radiology center from the cemetery with my Harary shirt that I wore all week. The technician performed an ultrasound and paused when she got to my right underarm. She seemed uneasy and confused. She called the doctor in, and he had a similar reaction. They found a number of enlarged lymph nodes under my arm, which to them looked suspicious. The doctor explained to me that the cause for this can be for a variety of reasons. Enlarged lymph nodes can be a result of receiving the COVID vaccine, it can be from a common cold, or it can be an indication of something more serious. I had just underwent the most agonizing week of my entire life. I panicked as I was barely hanging on by a thread. I was suddenly being attacked by enormous waves of anxiety. The doctor then ordered me to have a biopsy of the enlarged lymph nodes as soon as possible. I was scheduled for a biopsy a few days later. The procedure was performed by Dr. Gupta, whose name I'll never forget. The results were to come out a few days to a week later, was Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. I was home, coming down a flight of stairs when I got a phone call that changed my life forever. It was Dr. Gupta. My heart sank to the ground as I wasn't expecting a call from the doctor herself. She said, "Hi, Mrs. Charkey. It's Dr. Gupta." I nervously uttered in a panic, "Hi, doctor. Are my results in yet?" She replied with a sigh and said, "Yes, Mrs. Charkey. Unfortunately, it's not good. The biopsy came back as cancer. You have metastatic carcinoma, origin of the breast." I froze and tuned her out as she continued to instruct me on how to proceed with my diagnosis. I was hit by a second ton of bricks. The first ton of bricks was my mom's passing 2 weeks prior, and now this. My head got hot, the rest of my body froze, and my legs felt like jello. As she continuously attempted to guide me on what to do next, I stood on the steps while blankly staring out the window, and I thought to myself, 32 years old, 4 kids, under the age of 8. This is how my story ends. I was meant to die young. My mind automatically took me to the darkest of places. My treatment plan consisted of 16 rounds of chemo, 52 weeks of targeted therapy, 18 sessions of radiation, and 2 major surgeries. It took a while for me to realize that I've been dealt the most challenging test of my life thus far. I had no choice but to focus on myself and my health for a full year amid mourning my mother's death. I wanted to live for my children. In addition, Hashem sent me many angels during this dark time. I'm not going to name names tonight, but I am eternally grateful to the Mishari Bikur Cholim team, who I can confidently say helped save my life. They're the reason I'm standing here before you today. They really took the driver's seat and held my hand through each and every step into the unknown. They are an exceptional organization who deserve endless blessings from Hashem always. Organizations such as Fountain of Kindness consistently offered a helping hand all throughout the process. My amazing husband, my incredible family, my remarkable in-laws, and my phenomenal friends all showed up for me in a time of need. They paid me frequent visits, came to my rescue, checked in with me regularly, helped make meals for my family and I. All these wonderful people took time out of their busy schedules to perform acts of kindness for me. Their thoughtful gestures made everything a little more bearable to endure. Words can't describe how grateful I am to everyone who prayed so hard for me and said nishmat for me. Exactly during this time, 2 years ago. Your heartfelt prayers and exceptionally good deeds will never be forgotten. I don't have all the answers, but I know that I've been through a frightening and unpredictable journey without my beloved parents by my side. This obstacle marked a significant turning point in my life. I've learned to try and not to sweat the small things. Hashem gave us life, and that's a gift. Everything that we may take for granted sometimes is a gift to be valued. The way we're given life again, each and every morning, our 5 senses, being grateful that our eyes are able to see and that we're able to appreciate the universe for its beauty. Thankful that our hearing isn't impaired and that we're able to listen, converse, and laugh with one another and enjoy the sound of music. Being able to feel our loved ones close and hug them a little tighter each day. These are just a few examples of gratitude that might slip our minds every so often. Here's an excerpt from a morning prayer of thanks that really resonates with me. Thank you for the periodic times that are difficult for me, for only that way they enable me to fully appreciate the good times, for only after being in darkness, one can appreciate the light. There is no history of breast cancer in my family, and there was definitely no reason for me to consider a mammogram at age 32. Had I not experienced this rare symptom, this could have gone undiagnosed for years, which would have likely ended catastrophically. If I chose not to go to that ultrasound appointment amidst the horror going on in my life at the time, who knows how things would have panned out. If Hashem presents us with a scary challenge, we turn to Him for guidance, clarity, and forgiveness, when in reality, we should be expressing our gratitude daily. Listening to the shofar on Rosh Hashana is our wake-up call to do teshuvah. Work our way up during those 10 days till Yom Kippur, when we pray to be sealed in the book of life on the holiest day of judgment. At a time when I was only able to see darkness, Hashem strategically led me to the right people and places at the most specific time and moments. I can confidently say that I've been given another chance in the most miraculous way, and I'm so grateful. Keep your faith strong. It's okay to feel anger, fear, and hopelessness sometimes. Know that someone is up there holding your hand and guiding you through life's challenges. I'll end with my favorite quote. When you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond. That's where your power is. May Hashem grant each and every one of you a Shana Tova filled with perfect health, happiness, and beautiful blessings. May you all be sealed in the book of life always. Thank you for having me tonight.